Good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss about a beautiful idea called the voice of the customer. We have seen already any product is meant for the market. Any product is meant to satisfy the needs of the customer. So first of all, we should know what the customer really wants. Unless we have a very thorough idea of what really the customer wants, we cannot design a product that really satisfies the customer. Ultimately, one of the definitions of a product that we have seen in the first class, one of the very fundamental definitions of a product is that it should satisfy some need. Any product must satisfy a need. The need can be explicit or the need can be implicit. But essentially, every product it attempts to satisfy a need, a societal need. Okay. So, we should hear about the voice of the customer. Okay. Can you go to the next slide? What is the voice of the customer? Voice of the customer is the identification of true customer needs and requirements. Voice of the customer is nothing but you have to identify what really the customer wants. What is the requirement? Okay. Then the organization must align what it offers to the needs. I should design the product in alignment with the needs of the customer. So I design my product that satisfies the needs of the customer. So my product will be aligned with the requirement of the customer so that I can think of maximizing the customer satisfaction. And generally we talk about products, but what we talk about is also true for services. Okay. What are you able to distinguish between products and services? Okay. A pen is a product. Okay. A television is a product. A cell phone is a product. An automobile is a product. Okay. But cell phone alone is not good enough for you to communicate. What do you need? What do you need? You need a service provider. You need a SIM card which is provided by a service provider. Aircel, B.S.ABDUR, Airtel, Vodafone. They are all service providers. What service do they provide? They enable you to communicate through cell phone. Telephony is the service that they offer. Telecommunication service providers. You understand? So this is a service. A bus is an automobile. Who manufactures buses in Tamil Nadu? Ashok Leyland is a manufacturer of buses. So bus is a product. Do you understand? But do you buy a bus for commuting from your house to your college? No. But you use the services of a service provider. Who is the service provider here? Huh? No. Who is the service provider? Madras Transport Corporation, MTC, is the service provider. Okay. Or whoever runs a share auto, he is a service provider. He is a small service provider. He helps you to commute through a short distance. Okay. A taxi driver is a service provider. You understand? A call taxi, fast track is a service provider. What service do they provide? They help you in transportation. So whatever we talk about is true for product as well as service. Do you understand? B.S.ABDUR, it is a service provider. Nokia, they deliver you a cell phone which is a product. Okay? Indian Railways is again a service provider. So are you able to distinguish between what is a product and what is a service? So relatively, product is something more concrete. So most of our discussions, we talk in terms of products, but please understand they can also be extended to services. Whatever we talk about, it can be extended to services also. Is it okay? Next slide, please. Now, what is our basic objective? What is the objective of our product? Our product, it should satisfy the customer's need. Satisfying the customer need is the ultimate objective. So first of all, we should understand what is the need. Okay, there are different types of needs. Unless we understand them thoroughly, we won't be able to fulfill them. See, the objective is to fulfill a customer's need. To fulfill a customer's need, you must first of all understand what we mean by a need. So, this is I don't know, many of you might have heard about it. Have anybody heard about it? These are the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is it visible at the back? No. So I will help you out. Again, so are you able to read the title? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay. Now, at the bottommost, it is a pyramidal. It is a pyramidal structure. At the bottommost, I have what are called physiological needs. It is a 5-level hierarchy. It is a 5-level hierarchy. You must understand this very well. It will be useful even in your personal relations, in your personal life. Okay. It is a very scientific approach in understanding needs. Okay. First of all, at the bottommost of the pyramid is the physiological needs. Sorry, it is physiological needs. And it is a need for breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. I'm reading it aloud so that you can note down. Okay, at the bottommost of the pyramid is the physiological needs. The needs cover breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. As you can understand, these are very fundamental needs for any human being. Okay. Now the Maslow's hierarchy, it has a beauty. See, only when a particular level of need is fulfilled, you tend to think about the higher level of the need. See, human beings, okay, one very good thing about human beings are, they are never satisfied with what they have. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, depends on how you view it. Okay, it is a good thing because that keeps the humanity moving. Okay, it is the root cause of all evils. That is the bad part of it. But the good part of it is, okay, the human need is never satisfied. Okay, it has both positive as well as negative aspect. The negative aspect is, it is the root cause of all evil. But the positive side of it is, that keeps the humanity moving. Otherwise you become stagnant. You don't grow. Unless you don't have a need. Okay? Unless you don't have a need, you need not. I see many of you suffering from this particular disease. You don't have a need. You haven't answered the question, why I am at this particular place. That question is not, that is not driven by an inherent need. That is the sickness for many. let's not go to that. Okay, the fundamental layer of the pyramid is the physiological needs, and Maslow had arranged these needs in such a way that one level of need is fulfilled, then only you can think of the next level. If you deny me food for 10 days, okay, I will not think about anything but to have some food. If you deny me sleep for 10 days, okay, I will not think of anything else other than sleep. Okay, if I don't have a proper shelter, if my house owner, if he push me out, if I am denied a safe shelter, then so similarly, breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep, these are the fundamental needs which occupy the base structure of the Maslow's hierarchy. The next comes the safety and security. The moment you give me food, I will start thinking about, okay, safety and security issues. What are they? The issues associated are health, employment, property. These are all issues associated with safety and security. Okay, if I'm suddenly threatened with a disease, that questions the security of me, my family, the whole structure that is built around me. You understand? So health, employment, if I suddenly lose my job, okay, that again is an issue of security, financial security, health security. Okay, so don't view security as something with associated with a gun or a security guard. Okay. So property, why do people buy properties? They want to have financial security. Do you understand? Financial security. Even if I lose my job, I should have something to rely upon. Okay. So that is the logic behind buying gold or buying stock or buying properties, whatever it is. Then I need family for emotional security. Okay, I need a purpose for every day to come and then work. So for emotional security, people do need family. Be it father, mother, brothers, sisters, or wife, children. This sort of system, it provides you with a sense of security. There is somebody to take care of me. This feeling everybody has. Then there is something called a social security. Okay. There is something called social stability. So these issues arise the moment my bread and butter issues are satisfied. The moment I can eat something, I can drink something, I can breathe something, I could sleep somewhere. The moment these needs are satisfied, I start thinking about security issues. Right? Now, the next higher level of security is love and belonging. So here we talk about friendship, family, intimacy. I must be close with somebody. Okay, some sense of social connection is necessary. I am not living alone. I need to relate with more and more people. It can be friends, it can be relatives, but I should have a feeling that I am not alone, but I am part of a whole. I am part of this society. This feeling is essential. Okay? If my friend doesn't reply to my SMS, I feel hurt. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, if my friend doesn't reply to my missed call, then I feel bad. But please believe me, you won't feel that bad if you have not taken any food for 4 days. Okay, you will never think about your friend not replying to your SMS if you have not taken any food for 4 days. Because that takes precedence or that takes predominance over other be loved, to be taken care of, they need some intimacy, they need social networking. They need social networking, not in your sense. Okay, I'm not talking about Twitter or Facebook, no. Social networking, real social networking. Okay, many times people are talking now, this virtual social networking is causing a lot of disconnect in real social networking. People are now, these are all the social ills of today. This virtual social networking, it really causes disconnects. Networking means what? Connecting. But what this virtual networking does? It causes disconnect in real social network. You don't bother about it, you don't care, talk with your dad or mom or sister or brother, but keep on tweeting them. Keep on sending them SMS. Keep on talking to some unknown person. Is it happening? Okay. So by my networking here is real networking, not the virtual networking. Please don't get the wrong meaning of it. So friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection, these are the third level of needs. The fourth level of need is self-esteem. Self-esteem. What do you mean by self-esteem? After everything said and done, okay, your mind must say that you are a great child. See, everybody can say, hey, you are a great student. Your teacher could say, your father could say, you are a very good son, you are doing an excellent job. But ultimately, above all this, what matters is, yourself must say, I have done a good job today. I have been good today. I have done something decent today. I have helped that man. Okay, I have helped my friend. Ultimately, every night or every day, every moment, what needs to get recognition from within? This is very, very difficult. Okay, probably I can cheat my dad and get some recognition. The tragedy is I cannot cheat myself. It is impossible. So, the next level of the need is from self-esteem. So that manifests in the form of confidence, achievement, respect for others, the need to be a unique individual. Only if I do all this, I will get recognition from within. So what is my uniqueness? Where lies my contribution to society or family or my friend circle? So these are essential in getting self-esteem. Okay. The next level, are you getting all the points? Are you able to take them? The next level is self-actualization. So it is the next level of self-esteem. Self-esteem, if it is confined to a day, it is for a shorter time period, but self-actualization is for over a larger time period. Okay? Self-actualization is concerned with morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. So I realize, I recognize my importance, I recognize my core competence over a period of time, and then I develop a sense of morality, I develop my own value system with which to judge me or to punish me or whatever it is. So that is what is called self-actualization. So unless the way in which these needs are arranged, the lower the hierarchy, okay, the lower we can say the human life is pushed to. If your need is at the level of psychological needs, if the need is at the level of physiological needs, then you are leading a very low quality of life. Okay, if an individual is living for his bread and butter, then even the most fundamental need is not satisfied. His level of life needs very large amount of improvement. If somebody is insecure, financially, medically, okay, socially, then it is at a different level. Now the Maslow hierarchy, it tells you very clearly the order in which needs tend to get fulfilled. And another important thing is, it is a never ending. In fact, the top is not a point, it is a line tending towards infinite. The top of the pyramid is not a point, but it is it goes on like this. Okay, it never. At this point, it is asymptotic. At the tip of the pyramid, it is asymptotic. These two lines, you see, this is one line, that is another line. At the tip, they don't join, but they go in an asymptotic way. Now, the basic question that you must address is, where is your product or service in the Maslow's hierarchy? What do you try to achieve? Which part of the need you try to fulfill? So that positioning is very much essential. Again, we will go to Maslow's hierarchy. You will study about this. In many parts of management, you study about this. Because many times you need to motivate people. How to motivate people? Again, you have to satisfy some of their needs and then motivate. So this is the general idea about what human needs are. And this is a very, very scientific approach to fulfilling human needs, and you need to understand this. Can I go to the next slide, please? Now, this is again another very important diagram. It is called the Camo diagram of customer satisfaction. Now let us try to understand this diagram thoroughly, because what we want to achieve by going for the voice of the customer is to satisfy the customer. Now, in the x-axis of the diagram is confusing. You need to follow me carefully. It is a very simple three curves. You have an x-axis, you have a y-axis. You have a 45-degree line here. You have a 45-degree line here. It is actually a hyperbola. This is called a rectangular hyperbola. You would have studied in your graphics. This is the rectangular hyperbola. The beauty of the rectangular hyperbola is it never touches the x-axis. This is asymptotic to this. The rectangular hyperbola will never touch the asymptote. Similarly, here I have a rectangular hyperbola which is again asymptotic. Okay. Curve-wise it is simple, but it has a lot of hidden content. Now first, the x-axis talks about function. The function that a product is supposed to provide. Okay. So x-axis talks about function. Again, positive x-axis means the function is present. Negative x-axis means the functionality is absent. So in the positive side, the function is present. In the negative side, the function is absent. Now, the y-axis, it measures the customer satisfaction. The y-axis measures the customer satisfaction. The positive side of the y-axis y-axis, it measures how much the customer is delighted, how happy the customer is. The negative side of the y-axis talks about how disgusted the customer is, how unhappy the customer is. Positive being happy, the negative side being unhappy. So the positive y-axis, it talks about how delighted the customer is. The negative y-axis talks about how disgusted the customer is. Clear? You have understood what the two axes they represent. Now let us go to the 45-degree line. 45-degree line is generally what do you expect? If you provide more product functions, the satisfaction will increase. If some product functions are absent, the dissatisfaction will increase. Yes or no? That is how you generally expect the customer to be satisfied or dissatisfied. Yes or no? The more product functions you provide, you become more happy. So, if the product functions are more, linearly, the happiness also increases. And if the product functions are absent, what happens? The dissatisfaction increases. If one feature is absent, you are little unhappy. If two features are absent, more unhappy. If 10 features are absent, very, very unhappy. So you expect a sort of linear increase in the satisfaction as well as in the dissatisfaction side. And that is why the 45-degree line is called the expected performance curve. The 45-degree line is called the expected performance curve. But the problem is never the actually measured performance curve, it doesn't match well with the expected performance. Please believe me, I am not going to elaborate how it is done. I can measure how much my customer is really satisfied. There are very scientific ways by which the customer satisfaction can be measured. But in reality, the performance, the customer satisfaction, it doesn't match with the expected performance. What happens? It comes to either this or this curve. What is this curve? This curve talks about basic performance curve. What is the basic performance curve? See, there are basic functions that are expected out of every product or service. For example, you take the Chennai Transport Corporation. Okay. You what is it called? MTC, Madras Transport Corporation. Okay. So, what are the basic performance you expect? You expect the buses to come in time. Okay. You expect the buses to reach the place in time, come to your bus stopping in time.
Comfort.
To reach the place in time. You expect them to be at reasonable cost. You don't want the buses to be very crowded. You'll be very happy if you could get seat for everybody. Not only for you, but everybody is having a seat. So these are all the basic performance characteristics of the service. If anything in this category is missing, bus is dropping you in time, okay, you even get a seat, you will not be overjoyed about Madras Transport Corporation. You will not be writing praises about how good the Madras Transport Corporation is. No. So then even when the functions are fully implemented, you will not be delighted. That is what. So to make a customer really delighted about the service, you should do something more than fulfilling the basic functions. Okay. To make the customer really delighted about something, it is not good enough that you just satisfy the basic functionalities. You should do something much more than satisfying the basic functions. So probably, okay, if Madras Transport Corporation is giving you a cup of tea in the bus, that will make you to be delighted. For every customer, I am going to give a cup of tea. Okay, or suddenly you observe that some potable water is made available at every bus, then you will really be happy. So, I'm not joking, the very idea is, by just performing the basic duties, you can never expect a delighted customer. To actually make a customer delighted, you must go out of the way and provide features. Okay. Now, so the basic performance curve is this. Now, even when you fully fulfill the basic performance curve, at most what will happen? The customer is not very unhappy. So by fulfilling the basic performance characteristics, you are minimizing the unhappiness of the customer. Are you making him happy? No. Because customer takes it for granted. Customer takes it for granted that a bus must come in time. A bus is meant to come in time. A bus is meant to drop me in time. A bus must provide me a sitting space. Only when you do something over and above all these basic performances, you can ensure a delighted customer. But the problem is, after some point of time, what you added for ensuring some very high level of happiness in the customer, what you added to seek, okay, a delighted customer, that becomes part of a basic product, and the customer keeps on demanding more and more. This has happened over many products. The classical example is, okay, the classical example is, say, power steering. Take the case of a power steering. Okay, take the case of a power steering. In heavy vehicles, okay, power steering was first introduced. What do you know? Do you know what I mean by power steering? If you don't know, you have to stop me and then ask. What is power steering? Yes? Can you tell what is power steering? Yes? What is it? Now tell it in simple terms. Then I must ask you what is hydraulic. Speak plain, simple English. What is power steering? What is steering? Please sit down. Yes? What is steering? Don't know. Then stop me and ask me. Sir, you are talking about power steering? I don't know. How can I expect you to know about power steering? Somebody might have heard about it. Can somebody say what is power steering?
Power steering is something to make effective turn
in manual steering. Is it not effective? Hey, if my turning is not effective, I will be going somewhere else. So, in manual steering, the steering wheel and the front wheel,
directly connected.
okay, they are mechanically connected. So, all the effort that is required to turn the wheel is to be provided by the driver. All the mechanical energy required to turn the wheel is to be provided by the driver. In power steering, or to be more precise, it is power assisted steering. Okay. In power steering, what you do is, you only do a sort of notional steering, and that is taken as a signal, and there is a hydraulic system which actually turns the wheel. You get my point? Sir, புரியுதுங்களா? நான் உங்க கேள்விக்கு பதில் சொல்லிட்டேனா இல்ல திரும்ப புரியாத வேற வார்த்தையில சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டேனா? Okay. Power steering is, you turn the wheel. How much I turn? That is measured. That is given as an input to suitable actuators. These actuators in turn turn the axle. So all the power required to turn it, that need not come from me. That comes from the hydraulic power pack or whatever system I have for actual actuation. So this was introduced in heavy vehicles as an add-on to ensure customer delight. But now, in any heavy vehicle, this has become a basic feature. How do you expect me to turn such a heavy vehicle without power steering? Now it has become, now you have almost no heavy vehicle, no new heavy vehicle is coming out without power steering. It has become a basic feature. How do you expect a driver to put so much of effort to turn the wheel? No, it is not possible anymore. It has become a standard feature. Similarly, one day power steering will become a standard feature in all four-wheelers. Now it is, power steering is, now it remains a sort of something ensuring a customer's delight. But very soon, okay, not far off, if not happened already, it will become a standard. So, the dilemma is twofold. To ensure customer satisfaction, I have to run an extra mile. I have to take really some extra effort. Then only I can get the customer's delight. But what happens? Having done that, very soon the customer is going to start expecting it as a standard add-on. Because this is something which is aligned with the human approach. Okay, this is something which is human approach. Okay, the first time I used my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you may talk, say, hey, this side is using PowerPoint presentation. After I do it for 3-4 times, you will ask, if I come without a PowerPoint presentation, you will ask, sir, why you have not come without a PPT? Because after some point of time, it becomes a routine. It becomes part of the basic expectation. This is how the human mind works. This is how your mind works. This is how my mind works. So this we have to understand to really satisfy the customer. Next diagram, please. Why voice of the customer? First, voice of the customer, it helps to pull the product and make it successful. Voice of the customer, it helps to pull the product and make it successful. See, we are talking about two things. A technology pushes the product. A superior technology, it pushes the product. Product is something which is right in between the company and the customer. What do companies do? They introduce a superior technology and then that gives a big push to the product. Okay, I say Android. I say touch screen. These are technologies. I say plasma screen. Okay, these are technologies which tries to push the product into the customer. But what? The voice of the customer, if I align my product along with the voice of the customer will naturally pull the product to him. So product requires both. What? It requires a push as well as a pull. How can the push be ensured? The push can be ensured by making the product really technologically updated. How can I ensure that the product will be pulled by the customer? I can ensure that the product will be pulled by the customer by aligning my product in tune with the customer's needs. So, voice of the customer helps to pull the product and make it successful. It ensures, the voice of the customer, it ensures a delighted performance. If you align your product, it ensures a delighted performance. It ensures products with appropriate combination of features. One of the toughest decisions that I must make as a product designer is what is the set of features that I must combine and market a product. So it is a combination of features that are required, okay, in launching a product. Then it ensures addressing the proper market segment. I told you already, the market is not something homogeneous. The market needs to be segmented and analyzed. On what basis can I segment the market? I can segment the market based on the gender. I can segment the market based on age. I can segment the market based on the region. Okay, I can segment the market based on culture. Okay, country. Okay. So, see, for example, suppose you are talking about menswear. In Tamil Nadu and Kerala, I can advertise my dhoti. I cannot be advertising dhoti as menswear in North India. It doesn't match. It doesn't match with the culture. One, it doesn't match with the climate. Nobody can wear dhotis in a very cool climate. I don't know. In cool climates, you need, I don't know if you understand, in cool climates, you need a tight-fitting cloth. Okay, a dress that hugs your body, that is necessary in all cool places. So when the outside temperature is say 12 degrees centigrade or even minus 2 degree, 3 degree centigrade, you cannot be wearing a sari or a dhoti. Okay, so I need to understand the geography, culture before I project my product. Next slide, please. Now we understand the significance of the voice of the customer. The next question is how to collect the voice of the customer. How to get the voice of the customer. There are 4 techniques. One is direct interviews. Number 2 is customer service. Number 3 is through focus groups. And there are certain advanced methods by which I can collect the voice of the customer. Next slide, please. Direct interviews. So, what are the customers' business issues? If the customer, it can be an individual or it can be a business. So what are the basic customer issues? What is the customer's problem need? How will the product solve the customer's problem need? So these are all the guidelines with which you prepare your questionnaire. So questionnaire should not ask what are all the customer's needs. No. So questionnaire must be designed in such a way that the customer needs are brought out. Okay. So how will the product solve the customer's problem? What are the specific customer's needs that must be satisfied to address the problem of the customer? What are the priorities of needs? A customer may have 100 needs, but which is most important? What is the weightage that you are going to allot for various needs? Then what are the strengths and weaknesses of our product vis-a-vis the competitors? These are all the issues that, you have to design a questionnaire in such a way that opinion about all these issues are addressed. Okay? So this is the technique of direct interviews. Next slide please. You can conduct customer survey. So you select a target customer group, then randomly conduct some opinion survey regarding to measure the performance of product service, and it can be the existing product can be surveyed. The performance of an existing product can be surveyed over the entire segment, so that you will identify where there is the lack, where the customer finds the deficiencies that can be fulfilled by your product. So surveys are completed by customers via an online form, phone interviews. You can mail a hard copy. Many times there are incentives to respond to these questions. Okay. Next, focus groups. What you do is, instead of collecting opinions like this, you bring in a group of 8 to 12 people. Let them discuss about the existing products and what they want. Because when you conduct surveys or direct interviews, when you conduct all this, you pre-design some 100 questions, and the participants, they don't interact among themselves. This has some positive effects, some negative effects also. So focus group discussions are arranged after you have conducted the direct interviews and other forms. So there you identify some potential customers, put them together. They are asked to share their perception and beliefs and about the needs, about their comments on the existing products. All these are shared. Okay. Typically the group participates in free and open discussion. They interact among themselves also. They have their own views also. This gives you an opportunity to collectively form an opinion about the product or service. Next, there are many advanced methods. Some of the advanced methods are, you can benchmark your product with your competitors. So you can identify where your product lags vis-a-vis the competitors. Then you can investigate your biggest competitors' product and then identify your weaknesses. You can visit customers. You can employ a team of mystery shoppers. Mystery shoppers are people who represent you. You do the shopping for you. They identify the other shoppers' preferences. And they also try to identify why they prefer certain products. Okay. So that is the term mystery shoppers. You can do the Kano analysis that will help you to identify when will a customer be really delighted. are the advanced methods by which you can record the voice of the customer. Next slide, please. So this is a negative view about the voice of the customer. Once, this is sometime in 1980s, the founder of Sony Corporation, he said, now I thought I should include this because there are other views about the voice of the customer also. What he said is, our plan is to lead the public to new products rather than ask them what they want. The public doesn't know what is possible. We only know. So this is the other view about the voice of the customer. Do the public know what the technology can achieve? Do the common man know what technology can provide them? So then why go and ask him? You only know what can be provided. So you decide what the customer needs. How do you react to this statement? It is by no lesser person than the founder of Sony Corporation. Sony is one of the giant producers of products. How do you react to this statement? Do you accept? Then you will ask me, sir, why you gave a lecture on voice of the customer? When the whole thing is a waste. When the voice of the customer is a waste, then why you taught us about the voice of the customer? If you agree, then you will ask me this question. How will you react to this argument? Can somebody tell me what it means? What this statement means? Yes, can you tell me what this statement means? Yes? Quick. Sir, I have written a statement, I am just telling you to explain it, that's all. Our plan is to lead the public to new products rather than ask them what they want. What does that first sentence mean?
We have to impress the public with our products.
Rather than
asking what they want.
asking them what you want. Why? Why should I not ask that? Why should I lead?
We know both positive and negative.
We know the technology. The companies know the technology. The company know what new product I can provide. So why go to the customer and then ask what he wants? Is it true? Should the companies ask the customers or shut their ears to the customers and trust the products onto the customers? That is the basic issue. Should I keep my ears open what the customer ultimately wants, or should I shut my ears because they don't know anything, they don't know what the technology can provide, and then based on my understanding of the technology produce something and then thrust it into their throat?
We must ask.
No, it is a very unwise statement. It is true. Only corporations do know what they can produce. Okay? What the products can deliver. I mean, if the telephone, cell phone manufacturers, if they were asking people, okay, if they were asking people, will you require a mobile phone? Then probably, if somebody came and then asked me, I would have thought of carrying a huge phone. At that point of time, it was only a dialing system. So why should I carry such a heavy thing? I would prefer it to be stationary. I will go there and call it. I will go there and then use. That is my level of understanding at that point of time. So why do I need a mobile phone? I can always go to the phone and make a call. People would not even realize what options the product can give. going to be the user? It is the public. Who is going to be the ultimate user? I may produce 10,000 phones, I may produce 10 million phones. But who is the ultimate user? The ultimate user is the customer. It is only proper I collect his views, her views, and then adjust, position my product in such a way that it meets not only once, but it continuously meets the needs and aspirations of the customer. In fact, this particular approach of Sony, it led to many disastrous products from the Sony Corporation. The history of Sony is not that of a straight, very smooth path of success. The corporation is riddled with lot of failures also. Okay, and they have identified Sony themselves, they have identified this particular approach to be responsible for some of their failures. Okay, so now we know more than the customer. We need to respect the customer because he is the ultimate person who is going to use my product. Is it okay? Next. Now, with this I am going to stop. I have the product case to be discussed because of some reasons we didn't have time. Okay, so we are going to discuss one product. I thought for a difference we will take something big. Okay, because many of my students, it seems they have become skeptical about discussing pencil, cycle, wire tube. So they are not very happy. So I thought I should take something big and then discuss today. We will go to that. Before that, you can access the videos from the run prompt. Sir, can you please come out and then show them the run prompt? Engg. You can escape press பண்ணுங்க. So start, run. Okay, this is the run prompt. So from any system within the campus, in the run prompt you have to type streaming streaming teachings. So backslash. So you can go to the PowerPoint presentation, sir. So in the run prompt you have to say previously streaming streaming teachings. Then it will prompt you for user ID and password. The user ID is user. The password is user123. It may not work because this is not connected to the intranet. My laptop is not connected to the intranet, so it will not work now. If you run it, it will prompt you for user ID. The user ID is user, the password is user123. Then something like your my computer sort of thing will come. In that you can go to School of Mechanical and Building Sciences, Department of Mechanical Engineering. These are all folders. Department of Mechanical Engineering, then UG, PG, so you belong to the UG category. Then lecture notes and videos. If you go to videos, you can have the videos. Okay. This is one option. The second option is you can go to metrology lab in the mechanical department. Request with Mr. Tamil Chelvan. You can go with the blank CD. Now, the product that we are going to discuss is a jet engine. The product that we are going to discuss is jet engine. So what I would request you is watch the video for 7 minutes and then probably I'll discuss about what is the difficulty in really designing a jet engine. Let us see jet engine, let us see how it works, let us see what it does. And probably after that we will discuss what are the design issues in designing a jet engine. Yes.
apprentice Frank Whittle invented the turbojet engine. He transformed the aviation industry. The jet engine led to a new generation of aircraft. Experimental planes smashed through the sound barrier, soaring to speeds of 2,200 miles per hour. Modern jet engines have to be precision engineered to withstand the stresses they operate under. To find out how they do it, we're going to one of the most famous names in jet engine manufacturing. This is the Rolls-Royce turbine blade manufacturer and test facility in Derby, England. Rolls-Royce is one of the largest manufacturers of jet engines in the world and is at the forefront of engine design. The principle behind all jet engines is to generate thrust by creating a high-speed exhaust. To do this, a series of fan blades at the front of the engine sucks in huge volumes of air. This air is then pressurized by a series of compressors before being released into the combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber, the air is mixed with fuel and ignited. The explosion of hot gases are fed via a turbine before blasting from the rear nozzle as a high-velocity jet. This jet of hot gas propels the plane forward. A modern jet engine is made up of thousands of component parts, and each one has to be absolutely perfect. There's one component in particular which is essential to producing a powerful engine, and that is the all-important turbine blade.
Turbine blade is absolutely essential to the engine. It's the part of the engine that delivers the thrust that the engine needs to deliver to power the aircraft.
Each turbine blade produces 10 times more power than a typical car engine, and they have to operate under incredible mechanical stress. Sitting behind the combustion chamber in the most pressurized part of the engine, they're exposed to temperatures approaching 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. This high operating temperature and pressure is the reason why modern jet engines are more efficient than ever before. Making turbine blades strong enough to cope with this stress is a major challenge for Rolls-Royce. Each blade is first designed using a computer-aided design program, or CAD. To survive the intense operating conditions, the blade will need to be manufactured to extremely minute tolerances. So Rolls-Royce employs some very specialized techniques. The CAD design is first turned into a wax mold. This mold will be used to create a blade from a nickel-based superalloy. The mold will allow for a process known as single crystallization. Most metals are made up of numerous crystals, but by making the metal monocrystalline, it will cope with higher temperatures. These molded blades then move on to an automated production line in a temperature-controlled environment. The next job is to begin the delicate task of shaping the blades. This is done with the Makino grinder. It works on 5 different axes and takes its instructions straight from the CAD definition. This overcomes the inaccuracies of manual operation. To ensure it has cut the blade to the correct specification, it uses a CMM, or coordinate measuring machine. This can take readings from any angle, which can then be checked against the specification. Once operational, each turbine blade will have to withstand huge pressures, so they must ensure it stays firmly in place. Its root has to be ground down to give a fir tree shape. It is this special root shape which will anchor it in position inside the engine. To allow each turbine blade to self-cool while the turbine is running, tiny holes as small as 310 microns in diameter are made along the length of the blade. To make such small holes, they use hollow brass electrodes and a current of water to cut into the nickel alloy. When the engine runs, cool air will be passed through these perforations to prevent the blade from melting. These improvements in blade cooling technology have helped make more efficient, high-temperature engines possible. Every stage of this manufacturing process is carefully monitored by a computer, by a pair of human eyes, and finally, some clever fiber optics. But even after all this care, the finished components aren't ready to be fitted to an aircraft until they've been tested. Using a specially designed building with a cavity wall over 10 feet thick, every engine is tested to full thrust. This gives the engineers a complete profile of the engine's performance without ever leaving the ground. Today, they are testing a Trent 1000 engine. 3, 2, 1, go. This fifth-generation engine delivers up to 75,000 pounds of thrust and will be used on the new Boeing 787.
The aircraft, I believe, is due to service in 2008. It's aimed at the Beijing Olympics, so we have to get our engines ready for that moment, if not well before.
But they don't just test for reliability. Every year, there are over 10,000 bird strikes in the U.S. alone. So it's essential that the engine can cope with this and keep running. Only if the engine can remain operational will it gain its certification from both the European Aviation Safety Agency and Rolls-Royce. So, next time you're flying off to the Bahamas on vacation, jetting off on business to Denver, or simply looking up at the sky.
This is one of great engineering designs, a jet engine. Now, we have a jet engine in the aeronautical department. Probably at some point of time, our all mechanical engineering students can also go and have a look at it. We have a real jet engine, an aircraft jet engine in the aeronautical department. We can also have a look at it. It's a great piece of engineering. Now, as you have seen in the video, what happens is we have a lot of fans taking in a lot of air that is put into the combustion chamber, where you have the fuel injected. This produces enormous amount of heat and pressure. Okay. Then this is sent out through a set of turbines, because you need a rotary mechanical motion also available. You need it for even compression. You need it, and it is let out as a jet, providing the thrust to the aircraft or wherever you use. What is the basic challenge? Now, what is discussed in the video and what I am going to discuss today is also a single component, that is the blade, the turbine blade of a jet engine. It has many special requirements. It has to withstand very high temperature, because you want to have very high efficiency. That means you should have very high operating temperatures. Not with reference to jet engines, but generally higher the temperature, higher the operating efficiency is. Have you heard about Carnot engine? Yes or no?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Carnot engine you have heard about? Study in your physics? Huh? What is the efficiency of the Carnot engine?
100.
I think this you must be able to answer. No. Please take it from me. No. What is the formula for the efficiency of a Carnot engine?
Input by output by input.
Any efficiency is that. Any efficiency is output by input. Efficiency of a Carnot engine is a theoretical engine. Okay. By definition, what we mean by an engine has a very generic meaning in thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, anything that converts heat into work is an engine. Do you understand? Anything that converts heat into work is an engine. I am not talking about jet engines now. I am talking about the general thermodynamics definition of an engine. What is the efficiency of a Carnot engine? Can anybody come out with that? Formula for the efficiency? You studied? Yes. Who said it? T1 by? Can you refine it? Yes, efficiency of a Carnot engine is
T2 minus T1 by T1.
T1 minus T2 by T1 into 100. Fine. When you want it in percentage, you have to have into 100. Okay. Please listen here. What is T1? See, I told you, anything that converts heat into mechanical work is an engine. By the general definition, anything that converts heat into mechanical work is an engine. Okay? So, I have later on you will study in detail about this. I have a source, I have a sink. To have heat, I must take heat from a source and reject it into a sink. Right? So this is, please note, this is the theoretical efficiency. Carnot efficiency can never be reached if you have a source and a sink. For an engine to work, you need a source and a sink. So my engine is going to work between T1 and T2. Okay. The efficiency is going to be, if I write it in some other form, the efficiency is going to be 1 minus T2 by T1 into. Now to have high efficiency, can somebody tell me how should my T2 be? How should my T1 be? T1 must be very large and T2 must be very small. 1 minus something, so this must be a very small fraction. Then only my theoretical efficiency will be maximum. So minimum value of this is obtained by having a very small value of T2 and very high value of T1. I don't have control over T2 because I cannot say I have to reject all the heat to the atmosphere. So this is atmospheric temperature. I don't have any control over it. I cannot cool the entire atmosphere. So this is the atmospheric temperature. So what should I do? I should have a large T1. So if my operating temperature is high, this is not the formula, please take it from me, this is not the formula for analyzing the jet engine. But in general, when my operating temperature is high, my efficiency is high. But what is the problem? When my operating temperature is high, my material must withstand such high temperatures. Generally, materials, they don't withstand all engineering materials may not withstand high temperatures. So I should go for materials that do withstand very high temperatures. We go for nickel alloys. Not only nickel alloys that are made up of single grain takes place. So what is the best way to avoid failure along the grain boundary? Eliminate grain boundary. There is no grain at all. There is no grain boundary at all. Meaning, it is made up of a single grain. So I should develop a manufacturing process by which the turbine blade is made up of a single grain. Then, what should be the cross section? The cross section must be aerofoil, but at the same time, it should have very intricate shape. That is achieved, that can be achieved only by going for multi-axis machining. Here they have talked about 5-axis machining. And the engine blade needs to be cooled. For that, I need to provide tools. Now, all that I am trying to say is, I have to select what are the steps involved. I am not interested in the specific product. I am not teaching how to design jet engines. Probably you will understand more if you go through the videos. What I am interested in this case is, what is the general design procedure that I have to learn? First, I must select an engineering material that is suitable for this particular application. This particular application puts certain demands. What are they? It should withstand very high temperature. It should withstand very high stresses. Okay. It should withstand a corrosive atmosphere. What is the corrosive atmosphere? See, when you burn fuel, what you produce is a very corrosive gas. Okay, it is not a very neutral gas mixture. It is a very corrosive gas mixture and at elevated temperature. And the combination of elevated temperature and corrosion is again a problem. At elevated temperature, all chemical reactions take place more easily or the reactions take place sluggishly. Generally, at elevated temperatures, all chemical reactions take place more aggressively. So, I must select the material which has all these properties. Then I must design the shape and size in such a way that it will withstand all the load. Am I right? And it will do the intended function. How did I decide upon the aerofoil section? To function as a blade in a turbine, it should have an aerofoil cross section. Then why certain bend along the length? It has to produce certain thrust. Or it has to produce, it has to generate some amount of torque. To achieve that, it should have that particular geometry. You decide that. Then you analyze whether that particular member will withstand the stresses encountered. You verify the whole process by using your computer tools. For modeling as well as for analysis, you have various tools. All that you are learning. You are learning the most fundamental thing, AutoCAD. But to do the modeling, do the analysis, check whether the whole system works. Then you manufacture it, you measure it. You have seen the measurement being carried out using a coordinate measuring machine. You measure whether the whole thing is manufactured as per the design. Then what you do is, you test whether it withstands all the loads. Then you let it fly. Is it okay? This is the sequence of operations in general, and this is applicable to any product. Is it okay? So because we are talking about in this course, for the first part we will be talking about the general procedure for designing any product. At the later stage, we will become more focused on designing mechanical systems. Okay, there we will take up all the issues of material selection, designing for manufacturing, designing for assembly and all that. Is it okay? No, the link probably Mr. Gunasekar will provide. All of you can re-see this particular video. It is very useful. Thank you. Good day.